Okay, our next speaker is Candace Mary Dauphin, and she is a program manager at Stop Waste, and she works on a couple of the Bayren programs. But today she's here to talk about residential energy incentive programs and supporting local government.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Candace. Stop Waste is a public agency in Alameda County, and we work along with a team of fabulous people at Frontier, the Association for Energy Affordability, and SF San Francisco Environment on implementing the Barron Multifamily programs. And today I'm going to touch on the residential energy efficiency programs available in this region. But I really want to talk about some really exciting movement as energy efficiency programs look to serve needs beyond energy efficiency. So as Karen alluded to earlier, there is still a lot of potential in meeting some of the energy conservation needs within the Bay Area. And there are a lot of programs available, as you can see here. And I'm not going to go through all of these programs. You're going to have access to this material. So if you're interested in utilizing any of these programs as tools in meeting, if your local government meeting your climate action plans, please do reach out to any one of us. And we're coordinating more and more closely with other, among program administrators to make sure participants, whichever program they come into, that they benefit in the best way possible. But not only can these programs serve as great resources for energy conservation, they're also helping local governments as they look to meet challenges that are coming up in the Bay Area, such as in the residential sector with affordability, resilience, health. And I want to talk about how we're doing that in the Barron Multifamily program. A lot of this is already happening throughout the state. MCE is doing a lot of activity, a lot of these other program administrators that you see here, but I'm just going to talk about my program for now. So by thinking about energy efficiency, not just as a way to conserve energy, but also as a way to support local governments as they look to reduce CO2 emissions through deep decarbonization, meet the demands that are required due to climate change through resilience, improve the health in the residential sector, address equity and affordability, and government capacity, we can start to broaden the positive impacts of the work done through energy efficiency programs. But in order to do that, we have to be intentional about exploring these connections. And we have to seek out partners and integrate these connections into the program design. And then we also have to change the way we talk about energy efficiency so that folks outside of our sector can understand what we're talking about and be useful partners. So, as I mentioned, Stop Waste is the lead implementer of the Barron Multifamily programs. And just to talk a little bit about what we do there, since September of 2013, we've been providing no-cost technical assistance and $750 per unit to building owners in the multifamily sector within the Bay Area. And we have served over 450 properties, totaling 31,000 units, and issued $23 million in rebates. And in the same time frame, since we've been running this program, we've seen a lot of big changes in this sector. Housing affordability has become a major problem. The wealth gap has been growing, and we're starting to see the impacts of climate change. And, some positive things have been happening as well. We have received the approval of our business plan, which has allowed us to plan in the long term instead of from year to year. And we have seen the arrival of CCAs on the scene, and they are serving as great partners as we implement this work. So first I want to talk about how the Bambi program has been addressing resilience. So after the 2017 Tubbs fire in Santa Rosa, the program was approached by the Sonoma County Bayron reps to discuss what we could do about rebuilding efforts. Unfortunately, because of the restrictions of our funding, we couldn't help directly with rebuilding. But we did work with the county to find a way to provide support with the resources that we had. So we worked with a consulting firm called D&BGL, who had developed a multifamily resilience assessment tool for New York City. And we provided them resources to adapt it for the North Bay. And we also trained some of our technical assistance staff to conduct the pilot. And the purpose of the pilot was to determine where our program's energy efficiency technical assistance and recommended measures overlapped with resiliency audits and the measures coming out of those audits as well. So we found that extreme heat, power disruption, and air pollution from wildfires were top hazard concerns, and there were many energy efficiency measures that could at least partially address some of these concerns. So envelope measures, which was a common recommendation, can help improve protection in extreme weather and improve air quality. Lighting can enhance visibility and safety during power outages, and all energy efficiency measures can reduce energy load when backup generation is needed. So this chart was something that came out of the work that was done. The MBTA focused, or technical assistance focused on where energy efficiency program offerings and recommendations overlapped and developed this chart. And this goes out to BAMBI participants at the point of scope development so that they're considering resilience when they're developing their energy efficiency scope. Along with this, we also send out a list of county-specific resources to each participant to help with resilience. So another thing that I'm really excited about is the intersection of energy efficiency and health. And as I said, there's a lot of movement going on here. There's a forum that the ACEEE puts on every year now. Contra Costa County and MCE with their Green and Healthy Homes initiative, they're doing a lot of work within this intersection. And we're also starting to explore this. And we started by updating our specifications. So where they weren't already in alignment with things such as Greenpoint rated, the TCAC minimum construction standards, and this report that came out, a guide to healthier upgrade materials from the NRDC and Energy Efficiency for All. And this report focused mostly on insulation and sealants, which can be really nasty. So, you know, we don't want to run towards energy efficiency without thinking about the health of the residents. And so we're starting to do that. And also at the end of next month, we are pulling together stakeholders from public health agencies in Alameda County to discuss their health goals, our energy efficiency goals, and where they align, and talk about ways that we can coordinate going forward. And the lessons learned that come out of that convening, we will apply to other counties within the Bay Area. So we've also, enforcing an ordinance can require a lot of effort, as you've heard earlier, and when a local government can find ways to lean on energy efficiency programs, they can really help with marketing, compliance, and reporting. So the city of Berkeley has done this with its building energy savings ordinance. The BAMBI program worked with Berkeley on mailers, so getting the word out. We send mailers to multifamily property owners at least twice a year anyway, so we worked with the city of Berkeley so that they could add a flyer into our mailing and notify folks of the requirement and aspects of it. So the ordinance requires either an assessment or completing an energy upgrade. And participating in BAMBI exempts a building from the first cycle of assessments. BAMBI participants also can receive assistance with benchmarking, which is required for residential buildings over 25,000 square feet under this ordinance in 2019 anyway. So we are beyond excited about the changes made to the test formerly known as the three-prong. So for those that don't follow the regulatory CPUC movement, it's going to be easier now for energy efficiency programs to incentivize electrification measures. And we were able to get a bit of a head start on thinking about how our program could incentivize deep carbon emissions reductions through fuel substitution with the help of a grant from the Bay Area Air Quality Management District. So we're currently running a pilot that leverages Barron's Multifamily Building Enhancements Program to provide subsidies for electric heat pumps as part of our multifamily upgrade work. And we received enough to incentivize 250,000 units, and the incentive amounts are here. The way we came up with these incentive amounts, if you're interested in learning more, reach out to me and I'll connect you with our technical assistance team, AEA. But they ran the cost-effective measures through the cost-effectiveness test to kind of determine how much was needed in order to make it past the old three-prong test. But through this, we're learning a lot about, technology barriers and ways to incentivize property owners to electrify their buildings. And so we're getting a head start on this, and we're looking forward to being able to integrate what we've learned into our wider program. And Miriam has been doing a lot more work. She's the next speaker on this, and she'll talk in a lot more detail on this topic. So I know a lot of local governments have been trying for years to pull energy efficiency programs along and, serving as a tool in a lot of these areas. And, there's challenges in doing that. And I'm really excited that just because of the sheer urgency of some of the challenges that local governments are facing today, we're waking up and, we're able to, plan in the long term a lot more. There's a lot more players in the market that we can cross-leverage resources with and coordinate with. So I just want to, make a call to action to local governments. If you're not already utilizing energy efficiency programs to help meet your goals around, energy conservation and some of these related challenges I've talked about today, please do reach out to us. We'd love to help. And I just do want to talk through some of the lessons learned, and some of the efforts that we've taken to integrate some of these things into our energy efficiency program. It requires a lot of coordination, both with other program administrators and with local governments. It's a lot of work, but it's well worth it. Also, you kind of have to be smart about the way you layer and integrate. I think, for a good reason, energy efficiency funding does have limitations on the way it can be used. We have to be accountable to, the ratepayers, but there are other, everything's connected. You just got to kind of look for those connections and see how you can make them work. So, and like I said before, when you're reaching out and marketing your programs, you got to do it in simple language. That's kind of my strength. I like to keep it simple, and that way it's easier to pull a lot of other stakeholders in. And then when you're building out your programs and measuring your success, build in those energy efficiency key performance indicators, but also look at other key performance indicators that you can use to measure your success. So with that, thank you. And here's my contact information. Please reach out if you have any questions.
Great, and we have time for questions. Who has questions for Candace? So, I'm gonna ask you a question next. I'm Deborah from Napa. So, do you track through the Bambi program how many low-income apartments are taking advantage of this funding or other funding?
We do. Yeah, it's part of the database that we use. So we do have all that information. We don't necessarily have, we rely on the participant to provide that information at the very beginning, so it's not always extremely accurate, and we'll correct it if we find, mistakes along the way, but that is something that we track.
Do you feel like you're accessing those low income? Is there a good penetration?
Yes, I think it's about 33% the last time we checked of our participation. So we're a program, we serve both market rate and low income, and as a result of that, we don't require that low income properties furnish any proof that they're low income or subsidized, and I think sometimes that makes it easier to participate. So we do get a good amount of low-income participation.
So with the California Energy Commission, do you require the heat pump water heaters that you rebate to have demand response control?
You don't, no. We can talk about that though.
Dallas from Marin. I'm wondering if you've seen different success or had different strategies for like large conglomerates of multifamily property ownership versus like a local owner who has like a smaller apartment building. Are there like different strategies to engage those different property owners?
I think the fact that we partner with local governments to do our outreach kind of helps with the smaller property owners. They can be a lot harder to reach. And in order to, help them all the way through, our technical assistance is provided at no cost and provides hand-holding, which is often required. For the larger conglomerates, they usually find us. So not as much work is usually needed to engage that part of the sector.
And one question from the webinar. What are the key performance indicators that you mentioned?
We're actually still developing those right now. And I think that's a really important part of making sure these initiatives are not just one-time things, that you kind of do once and then kind of forget about them. So, yeah, we're still looking into that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Candace.